Today is Thursday, March 25. My name is Pastor Anthony, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Today our text comes from 1 Corinthians 1. Jews demand signs, and Greeks look for wisdom, but we preach Christ crucified, a stumbling block to Jews and foolishness to Gentiles. But to those whom God has called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ, the power of God and the wisdom of God. 1 Corinthians 1, verses 22 through 24. While church shopping, Jews demanded signs. What miraculous sign will you give us to prove that you are the Messiah? Greeks looked for wisdom, for proofs, arguments, and good apologetics, for airtight defenses of the faith. In our church shopping today, we look for all sorts of other things too. We look for purity of doctrine and practice. Where does a church stand on issues and ethics like human sexuality or loving their neighbours through action? We look for relevance. What kind of music and ministries does this church have for me and my children? And do I feel fed, whatever that may mean for someone, by this particular pastor's preaching? Well, Jesus didn't give signs to the Jews who asked. Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection was foolishness to the Gentiles. Jesus has never been particularly relevant to those who seek it. And the people he calls his own are those he died for, while they were still impure, self-interested sinners. What the church is firstly about as its most fundamental level, then, is not any of these things. Not signs, wisdom, relevance, purity of ethics or practice. No, the church's one foundation, one, is Jesus Christ its Lord, crucified and risen. Without relevance, the church is still the church. Without purity, the church is still the church. Without practice, the church is still the church. It may not be much of a church without these things, but it's still a church. Without Christ, however, there is no church. In times of deep division, we can get caught up and distracted by many secondary things within the church. Important things, to be sure, they have a place, but they are secondary. And as we do, as we do get caught up in these things, that is, then the rumblings of churches splitting or of members splitting away from churches to go church shopping can grow. At times like that, times like this, we do well to hear this simple, unvarnished call of the gospel once again. It's nothing more nor less than Christ crucified. There lies all the power and wisdom of God. And starting there is much else to work out in how we live our lives, meet our culture, and disciple one another. But it has to start there first, with Christ, always. It is in Him, and Him alone, that our hope is found. So as you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you, wherever He may send you. May He guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May He bring you home rejoicing at the wonders He has shown you. May He bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.